Hey, this message goes out to anybody who doesn't have the Most High God in their life. Who I'm speaking of is who this world calls God. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to chop it up with you for a second. You know what I'm saying? And just tell you this message because it's vital. And I appreciate you listening. You know what I'm saying? Walking in this world can be very lonely. You know what I'm saying? And you may feel yourself a lot of times just feeling like real lonely and real empty. You know what I'm saying? And real void of happiness. You know, just like the person, you know what I'm saying, walking on this beach right now. And temporary happiness is not what I'm speaking of, you know, because temporary happiness can come in all forms. You know, it can come in forms of, things that bring, instant gratification, like, you know what I'm saying, sex, or, you know what I'm saying, substance abuse, you know what I'm saying, like drugs, or, you know what I'm saying, alcohol, you know, money, whatever, different things like that, you know. But I just want to chop it up with you for a second and let you know that regardless of what's going on in this world, you have to make a choice. And if you don't make a choice, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean make a choice is you have to make a choice in who you pick to serve. You know, because there's only two sides. You either got good or you got bad. And you see how this world is going right now. And I tell you this just because I love you. I love each and every one of you. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter if you don't feel the same way back, but I love you straight up from the heart. You know, and that's something that was put in my heart by not me, but by the God who I serve, the one who rescued me from the same thing or worse that you're going through right now. And you probably looking at it and saying, you know, whatever I did or whatever I'm doing right now, you know what I'm saying? The Most High don't want no part of me, or God don't want no part of me. And that's the farthest thing from a lie. You know, because regardless of whatever you do, you still feel that emptiness and that void. And that's because we weren't meant to go on this walk alone. You know, we were meant to have the Most High in our life. We were meant to have God in our life. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how many things that you do in this world, no matter how much money you get, how much drugs you do, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, I know. It only gives you a temporary satisfaction. No matter how much sex you have, you know what I'm saying? It only gives you a temporary satisfaction. Know that too. You know, but at the same time, you know, you got a God that's sitting back, you know what I'm saying? And he's waiting with open arms to receive you, not looking at you like, you know, with disgust or filth like this world does. You know, this world will criticize you and turn on you for anything. This world, matter of fact, this world will condemn you. He's not like that. Because if he saved me and turned me around and accepted me and countless others, and I'm not nobody special, you know what I'm saying? If he accepted me and countless others, you know, just like they were, and turned their life around and opened their eyes and brought joy into their life, where hurt and pain had been throughout their whole life, he'll do it for you too. But you got to choose right now, because nobody knows what's going to happen the next day. These days are getting shorter and colder by the day. And what I mean colder, they're getting more and more heartless and evil by the day. And you see more and more wickedness all the time. You see more unaliveness than you ever seen in a lifetime. Even in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not old like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not old, but I'm saying, you know, in my lifetime, I'm speaking, you know what I'm saying, to basically 19 and 20-year-olds, and you know what I'm saying, anybody in that age or whatever. Even if you're a little older, it don't matter. You know, because this message is for everybody. I want everybody to receive that happiness. You know what I'm saying? Which comes from the Most High. If you don't, plus you have to choose today, because you don't know if the next day is not promised to anybody. Me, you, nobody. Regardless, even if you have the next day is not promised to anybody, you have to pray for that each and every day. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, you got to pick a side. You either got to pick good or you got to pick bad. It's two different sides. But if you don't pick, you automatically default. You're going with the world. You're going to the, you're going with the devil, because the devil is the god of this world. And that's not saying anything, because, the Most High, or God, you know what I'm saying? He's still in control over this world and control over Satan, but pick a side. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do something right now, because this world is continuing to get more worse. And the Most High wants you to come to him. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to come back home with open arm. He's waiting for you. He's not waiting there to condemn you and say, you done this, you know what I'm saying? You did this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying, wrong. He's waiting on you to come home because he loves you. He wants to give you eternal life. He wants to give you happiness, because these times that's coming up in this world right now, if you don't have the Most High, it's over with, straight up, on everything. So I want everybody to receive that joy and that happiness, and you know what I'm saying, knowing that if you got him, the creator of everything, everybody, regardless of who it is, things that you can see, things that you can't see, you know what I'm saying, that can nothing touch you. All of us has been through hurt and pain, you know what I'm saying? But he wants to take you like the ultimate parent. Some of you may not have parents. Some of you may have been, raised by your grandparents, or some of you may be adopted or whatever. Everybody got a different story, but the thing is, he loves you. And I love you enough to tell you this right here. This world ain't it. This world is going nowhere fast. Everywhere is nothing but death and destruction all in this world. And I just want to tell you right now, the best choice that I ever made was when I accepted the fact that, I needed him in my life, which is the Most High, which is God. You know what I'm saying? Because before he came into my life was nothing without him. And I was just, constantly, down all the time, up and down, you know what I'm saying? Drug use, constant drug use, you know what I'm saying? Fornication all the time, you know what I'm saying? I thought, even just being around people who I thought was down with me, they weren't no good for me. And it always ended up leading back to the same place. I'll be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I'll sit there and it'll just be a void that couldn't be filled. You can't fill that void with nobody or any kind of substance. The Most High is the only kind of way you can fill it. So I encourage everybody today, please make that decision. Please reach your hand out to him, because when you do that, he's reaching back in return. I love each and every one of y'all, and that Most High don't want anybody to perish. That's why he sent his son to die for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason that I'm able to stand right now. That's the only reason that, you know what I'm saying, my eyes are open right now to what's going on in this world. This world is going to be judged. This world is being judged right now. You see all the death and destruction going on, all the lives, people dropping like flies. You know what I'm saying? And that's to say, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that can be any one of us any day now. None of us are promised the next day. So do yourself the best decision that you can make in now eternity. Do yourself a solid. You know what I'm saying? More than a solid. You doing this for your eternity. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just because, you doing it for eternal life. It's just because he's everything. He's just a wonderful, amazing God who exonerates love. He's basically you know what I'm saying? He exemplifies everything about it, but at the same time, he's mighty and powerful and strong and mighty, but he's compassionate at the same time, and he's long-suffering and patient. Please come to him right now, because give your life to him. The only thing you got to do is talk to him. Get by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Talk to him just like I'm talking to you right now. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows the next hour, the next day. That's not promised to anybody. And you see how many people are dropping. But I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I pray that somebody take this message to heed. It reaches whoever it needs to reach. You know what I'm saying? And you turn your life around to them. I love y'all. Until next time, y'all willing? Peace.